That being said, I'll go ahead and open this, and you can see that it's applied it to this blend shader. And I'll go ahead and drag it over here and apply it to our model. Now, if yours doesn't just immediately show this pattern, you need to hit the shortcut key 6 on your keyboard, which enables textures to be visible. If you press 5 on your keyboard, it'll go back to show only the shader. All right, so we'll go back and look at it by pressing 6. And as you can see, this is probably not really what you expected when you thought that you would be placing a pattern on your model. And I'm going to actually show you why. So go ahead and open up your Edit UVs. Come down to the UV texture editor, and if you look at it right here, you can see the way that the geometry is kind of laid out on this UV map. It's more or less it's a train wreck. It's a jumble of edges and faces. It's a mess, which results in what we're seeing right here. And there's different ways that we can try and sort that out a little bit. If you go up to your Create UVs menu, we'll come down and look at some of these options that you have here. If we do an automatic mapping, you can see immediately things look a lot better, but at the same time still relatively problematic, because Maya's kind of going in and trying to do its thing and anticipate how basically the faces and stuff all need to be unfolded to create this UV map. And it's kind of doing the trick, but the problem is if that we were to export this out right here and take that into Photoshop or some equivalent graphical editing program, we're going to really have a hard time trying to reconstruct this and paint this in a pleasing manner. A few other options, instead of doing the automatic mapping, we can do a spherical mapping, which, looking at what we have right here, it's a little bit better. It's still kind of messy. You could try planar mapping. In this particular case, planar mapping is projecting down the y-axis, which gives us a really nice profile right here in the UV texture editor, but it's still problematic. Personally, what I've found that works the best for me is using a cylindrical mapping to get started. And now for this to work the best, you need to make sure that you have both halves of the head on the model. The model needs to be mirrored.